Journalists are increasingly becoming the target of attacks as protests and violence continue in Egypt. As we've been reporting, CNN correspondents were roughed up by the crowd in Tahrir Square.
Been hit now like 10 times. Yep. The Egyptian soldiers are doing nothing.
Several reporters for Dubai-based Al Arabiya television were also attacked. The network's Cairo bureau chief says one reporter has been hospitalized and remains in intensive care.
Today is one of the worst days that we've had as regards to our reporters and our correspondents. It's been very scary. The first reporter, Ahmed Bagatu, he was in the demonstration that's pro-Mubarak in Giza, that's Mustafa Mahmoud Square, and instantly the mobs just surrounded him. They started beating him from everywhere. They stole his watch. Then he was in a very bad shape, and finally he was rescued by a few people. He was moved to the hospital. Now he has a concussion, and he is hospitalized in the intensive care.
Let's get more now on why the journalists are being attacked and what can be done about it. Mohammed Abdeldaim joins us from CNN New York. He's the Middle East and North Africa Programme Coordinator for the Committee to Protect Journalists. Good to have you back on the programme again, Mohammed. So first of all, why is this happening to reporters?
Well, it's very plain and simple. This is happening to reporters because Mubarak's government is trying to institute a media blackout. It's trying to harass, intimidate, when necessary, beat journalists in an effort to control news coming out of Egypt, in an effort to restrict the violent images that we've been seeing on CNN and elsewhere from reaching a worldwide audience, and more importantly, prevent those images from reaching an Egyptian audience. As your last guest alluded to, Mubarak's thugs and Mubarak's secret police have been going to both state-owned as well as privately owned news stations and newspapers in Egypt, and essentially dictating an editorial line. And those who reject that editorial line are put under immense amounts of pressure, so much so that over the past few days, a number of TV presenters and a number of editors and a number of staff journalists have simply refused to work under those conditions.
Your organisation has called for the military to step in and try to protect journalists, but how realistic is that? I mean, just watching these protests taking place, the military has so far stood on the sidelines and observed what's going on without actually taking action.
Well, the military has made two public statements vowing to protect all civilians on the street from any violence, whether it comes from the police, the uniformed police, or plainclothes police and thugs, as has happened over the past 9 days now. Unfortunately, we did not see that happen today. We saw plainclothes thugs and possibly also plainclothes police come into Tahrir Square and elsewhere in Cairo and throughout Egypt and violently beat protesters as well as journalists. And again, I have to go back to my original point and emphasize that this is an effort to intimidate the people who are reporting the news. It's an effort to stop that reporting, to stop independent reporting of the news. Let me remind the viewers that the government has also shut down Al Jazeera and has attempted to shut down and otherwise restrict numerous other outfits, both television and print. And fortunately, they haven't succeeded in their ultimate goal, which is one where they restrict news coverage. Those who are watching Egyptian state television notice that Egyptian state TV is showing cooking shows and variety shows, and is trying to convince the people that nothing is going on the streets of Cairo and elsewhere in Egypt, and that's simply not the case. And when other news media try to transmit an accurate picture of what's going on the streets of Egypt, the information minister and others within the government accuse them of bias and accuse them of instigation, and that's simply not the case. The government's actions, the brutal repression of both demonstrators and journalists, is what's causing all this anger, is what's instigating the people, if we want to use the terminology that the government has chosen to use, and not the mere fact of transmitting those images.
It is a very worrying picture indeed. Mohammed Abdeldayem, thank you very much, as always, for helping us understand what's going on right now in Egypt. You're watching World Report. Just ahead, much more on the two major stories that we are following. Violence erupted in Cairo on Wednesday and things are still out of control. And fleeing the storm of the century in Australia, a survivor tells us what happened.